What is up, guys? Chris Barr of the First Productions here. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Trains. In today's episode, what we are going to do is we're going to be talking about heritage units, spirit engines, and just plain old special locomotives in general. So yeah, that's the topic today. Again, you are watching the Talking Train series on the Chris Barker, the First Productions channel. I'm your host, Chris Barker. Let's get this show underway. Now, what is a heritage unit? A heritage unit is a locomotive that is painted in a special paint scheme, unlike any other engine on that railroad. A heritage unit is supposed to look good, it's supposed to attract people, especially rail fans, and it's supposed to honor the heritage of whatever that engine is painted in. For example, this is the Erie Heritage Unit, Norfolk Southern SD70 Ace number 1068. This heritage unit is honoring the Erie Railroad. Now, I don't know much about the Erie Railroad, but what this unit is trying to do is present that railroad's history, basically, in a paint scheme that once roamed the rails on the Erie Railroad. So people know what the Erie Railroad heritage and paint scheme looked like. You know, it's supposed to look attracting. It's also to honor the history and also to show respect to the predecessor railroad that made that company the company that it is today. That is what a heritage unit is. There are many types of heritage units. So let's go ahead and go explore different types of heritage units. Okay, so here's another heritage unit. However, this heritage unit is not presenting itself like Norfolk Southern SD78's number 1068 was presenting itself as. While 1068 was presenting itself as a heritage unit for a predecessor railroad, this one, however, is not. This heritage unit, Amtrak 164, is presenting itself as a paint scheme type of heritage unit. That's because this heritage unit is not presenting a predecessor railroad, it's presenting itself as a certain paint scheme that Amtrak had and no longer has. As I mentioned, this is Amtrak GE P42DC number 164 is the Phase 4 heritage unit. It looks pretty cool. So this is another type of heritage unit. Okay, so here's another heritage unit. This being one of the best heritage units I have ever seen in my entire life. Here we have Union Pacific, or UP, SD78 number 1988. It is the Missouri, Kansas, and Texas Railroad Heritage Unit. While it says it is a heritage unit, and while it is a heritage unit, this heritage unit is a little bit different than any other heritage unit. And let me explain. This paint scheme that this engine is wearing is not actually what the Missouri, Kansas, and Texas Railroad paint scheme looked like. Union Pacific decided to go with something a little different. They decided to go with, let's say, I don't know, what if schemes. What if the Missouri, Kansas, and Texas Railroad looked like this? What if their paint schemes looked like this? Or what if the Southern Pacific Heritage Unit paint scheme? What if the SP actually did look like that? They're what if engines. They're what if heritage units. These are not real paint schemes, but they're more like what if the railroad paint scheme looked like this. If that makes any sense at all. And that's what Union Pacific was trying to go with. No matter what, it's a really cool concept, and I love all their heritage units. They look awesome. Oh boy, here we go. We're getting into CSX heritage units now. By far one of the worst concepts for a Heritage unit I have ever seen. While some of the CSX Heritage units look good, some just absolutely just look terrible. Like the Chesney system, the Baltimore and Ohio, and I think that's about it. Those two I just cannot stand. Okay. But every other one looks fine with me. But CSX Heritage units are criticized a lot. And the reason why is the front. The cab is not painted in the Heritage colors. It is painted in Y&3. And then it will fade into the Heritage. It's definitely one of the worst Heritage concepts, but, you know, I'm not going to ramble on about CSX. I mean, CSX also did another Heritage type of thing before. Heritage sticker units. It's where they have a unit and they slap like a sticker on the side of the unit and call it a day. They considered that a Heritage unit, when it was really a stickered Heritage unit. I don't have many photos, and I'm not going to go scrummage through one right now, but they weren't really that special. I didn't really care for the stickered units, but this is okay. This is definitely an upgrade from the sticker units, but still, CSX, we need a little bit more execution. We need a little bit more effort into these Heritage units. These two don't look bad, but again, the Chesney, the Western Maryland can also use some work. That just came out. The roof needs the trim. There needs to be a trim black at the top of the engine, right before it goes over the radiators and the top of the engine. While the roof is black, it needs to be a trim around at the top of the engine. And you need to redo the Chesney system unit, and you need to do the Baltimore and Ohio engine again. But again, I'm not going to ramble on about CSX Heritage units. Some of them look great. Some of them look awful. I'm going to say my top 3 right now, favorite Heritage units. It's got to be Conrail. I really like the New York Central. And number 1, Seaboard System. Love them 3 Heritage units. They're really good. Oh, and Chesapeake, Ohio. So I guess 4. That could be in my 4th spot. Yeah, but these engines are heavily criticized by rail fans, and I don't need to go into it. So let's just move on to the Spirit engines now. Okay, now here's an example of a Spirit engine. CSX 911. CSX 911 is honoring our first responders. Spirit engines honor or tribute to a certain place, thing, a person, or an agency. In this case, CSX 911 is tributing and honoring first responders of America or anywhere. So that's basically what a Spirit engine is. It just honors, maybe tributes to an agency, a person, a place, or a thing. One of those 4. That's what a Spirit engine is. You look good, 911. You really frickin' do. And well, folks, there you have it. A rundown on Heritage units. Again, the main purpose of a Heritage unit is to show off its predecessor railroad, and to honor it, and give tribute to it. You know, to show off its railroad history. That is what the main purpose of a Heritage unit is. That's it. Completely it. That is the main purpose. That's the bottom line right there. That is the main purpose of why a Heritage unit exists. Again, this has been Chris Barger of the First Productions, the Talk the Train series, and I will see you guys down the tracks and trackside. Thank you for watching.